Yama, Ngõ Charlie Smith, Zhong Binji, Georgia Strait. It's a weekly newspaper in Vancouver, and we're here for the news roundup for WOW TV, and we're happy to be here. I'm here with Janet Smith, who's the arts editor for the Georgia Strait and a very important contributor to the paper.
Thanks, Charlie. So I'll talk about what we're going to do this week in the Georgia Strait. We talk about a number of big arts events as the subscription seasons start to wrap up. One of the biggest news stories right now in the arts world in this city is that Ballet BC is doing its own new version of Giselle. And Giselle is sort of this classic tutu ballet that is associated with the French Romantic era. And it's right up there with Swan Lake and the Nutcracker that you just don't mess with it. But Ballet BC is not known for doing tutu-style ballets. It's known for doing much more contemporary work with little short pieces by the hottest European and American choreographers around right now. So for them to be taking on what we call a story ballet is something really gutsy, and it's a huge, momentous task. But it shows that the ballet is sort of at a point in its career and has enough success right now to take on a project of this size. So what they're doing is trying to make the ballet more of a contemporary, modern piece. So what they've done is they've got backdrops that have been designed by an animator that'll be moving through video as the dancers dance. They tell the story in a much more sleek and modern format. The dancers will still be wearing pointe shoes, but it's just a really interesting take on a classic ballet. It's interesting because the Ballet BC actually brought in the National Ballet of China a few months ago to show us Swan Lake, and that was a classic tutu representation of that dance, and it'll be sort of very interesting to compare this contemporary take on a classic with what we saw from the National Ballet of China. The other big show that's in town this week is called Sapphire, or Voyage, at the Museum of Anthropology. And this is a show that brings together a whole bunch of contemporary work from countries like Turkey and Iran and the whole Middle Eastern area, and it'll show us a very different point of view from those areas of the world. Traditionally, we've seen a lot of ancient artifacts and ruins and so on from those societies, but we don't here in Vancouver see a lot of contemporary work, photography and sculpture and things like that that are much more edgy. So I think it'll be a really interesting show, and it's the first time that such a large amount of work from right now, from contemporary times, has been brought in here from that part of the world. It's also interesting to note that this is also a growing population in Vancouver. We've got lots more Persian immigrants and immigrants from that part of the world. And in fact, some of the artists being represented in this show are immigrants, recent immigrants, artists who have come here from countries like Iran. So I think it'll be definitely a show for people to check out at UBC at the Museum of Anthropology. Thanks a lot.